YouTube world? My name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic. And welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a celebration of television review for one of my favorite favorite TV shows, Spectacular Spider-Man. Now, in case you guys don't know, in a couple of weeks, I think starting at the end of April, I'm going to be starting to do a series reviewing all the animated Spider-Man shows leading up to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the new MCU Spider-Man show coming out on Disney+. I will be rewatching Spectacular Spider-Man because I only watched what I could watch on Disney+, and there were a couple episodes that, because they kind of combined seasons 1 and 2 together on Disney+, but then they took it off, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to watch both seasons on my website, and then, but I won't be re-reviewing it. You'll just get my review again when I do my ranking of all the Spider-Man shows when the new one comes out. But with that said, let's go and get started talking about Spectacular Spider-Man. And what I absolutely love about this show is I love that the creators understand Spider-Man, but for me, this is possibly one of the only Spider-Man shows where I actually feel like it is great. To me, it is top 5 best Spider-Man media out there that I absolutely love, that knows Spider-Man, that actually has told a great Spider-Man story. Like, it easily, because my favorite Spider-Man stories are Into the Spider-Verse, the original Spider-Man, No Way Home, possibly this, and Spider-Man 2, the game. Now, I haven't finished Spider-Man 2 yet, but I can include it on there from what I have been playing of so far. But, yeah, it is up there as being one of the best top versions of Spider-Man, because the way everything is able to play out, as soon as you start this series, you see Spider-Man fighting a bunch of criminals, Peter Parker's Spider-Man going to fight some criminals a night before he goes back to school after summer break. And you get united by all the fun characters of Peter Parker's life, with Flash Thompson, with Gwen, with Harry. And you have that whole story with Harry going to Europe for the summer. And you have all the unique Spider-Man stuff of these characters. And even as the story progresses, you see him face new villains, you see him face new threats, you see him deal with being Spider-Man and the consequences that can happen through that. You see what he has to deal with being Spider-Man with, and him having to work with Aunt May. You see how the story transitions from different seasons, from Christmas to New Year's to Halloween to all of this, and it works so well. And it's like, it feels like a seasonal story, like it's passing through time. And it's such a great way to do this type of show that gives you so many unique Spider-Man moments. And at the same time, you get to have fun in the Spider-Man world. And that's the best type of thing you can do in a Spider-Man show. Like, I've only seen a couple episodes of the animated show from the 90s. It's good. I'm currently watching X-Men the Animated Series. I'm liking it, but it's not my kind of thing, because it just feels like you're ripping out the comics and putting it in this classic 90s style, and you're not really adapting it into anything. If you just put the comics into an animation form, you're not really doing anything interesting. You're just putting a book onto a screen. That's not, you have to find a new way to tell it differently, because sometimes the comics and their lines and dialogue are not that great. You gotta put it in a way where it's meaningful towards an actual show. With this one, it actually pinpoints and makes it compatible. So that's the reason why I love it. So yeah, the story in this show is great. I guess another thing we'll talk about here is Josh Keaton's version of Spider-Man. In any case, I would say besides Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland, he might be one of the best Spider-Mans, because he, like I said, this show fits perfectly of being a Spider-Man movie, a Spider-Man show. But Josh Keaton really portrays the character of Spider-Man very well. Now, if I'm not mistaken, did he come back to play Spider-Man in What If? Oh no, he played Steve Rogers in What If. No, I'm mistaken. My bad. But there's just something just so unique about his version of Spider-Man that feels unique. Even like the little thoughts that you hear him say in his head, it feels so comic booky, and the performance of him is just so good. So I have to give him his own thing because he's part of what makes this show so special. And his performance as Peter Parker, both as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, is fantastic. And now we're going to talk about the other side characters, and every single way they were able to handle all the characters in this show are absolutely fantastic. To where I don't feel like any character was poorly used. I don't feel like any character was done poorly. It's like and that's the thing. I don't think this show really has anything I didn't necessarily like about it. They actually used everything to their full advantage of what they could do. Like, you bring in Gwen, you use her for what you can, but you don't have her disappear for like a third of these seasons. You bring in MJ, and you kind of have that romance between her and Peter. You bring in Harry because he goes to Europe. You bring in Flash, which somehow creates a relationship between Peter and Flash that is kind of cool. You get Liz, which surprisingly uses her really, really well. You get J. Jonah Jameson, and actually has a plot line with him and his son at one point. You have some stuff with Aunt May, which I thought was also really cool. Also, they had little teases of Uncle Ben in here, and I actually didn't know Uncle Ben was played by the guy that Ed Asner, the guy that played Carl Fredricksen in Up. He actually played Uncle Ben in this show for like the flashbacks. So I'm like, that's fun. That's really cool. But I think easily the best of all our characters here is, as it's a Spider-Man show, the villains are top tier. All of the villains are used to their best potential. And while some are great in the way they're adapted, some are done great by the way their characters' arcs are done. So like possibly the best character I loved was Electro, where you actually understand his reasoning why he wants to destroy Spider-Man, because he made him into a bad guy. They did this to him. You get Green Goblin, which once again feels a little bit more like an imminent threat in this show, as he has like those fire lasers and all that stuff. So it's really cool stuff. And even just all the action, even Kraven the Hunter is somewhat terrifying in this show. Vulture, the stuff with Mysterio I thought was unique. Rhino, Sandman I thought was used perfectly in the way they were done. Black Cat, she's not as bad. She's not as bad looking as she was in the video game I saw, but come on, she's pretty bad. And I did like the little story with her and her father. Her father ended up being the killer that killed Uncle Ben. That was an interesting story. So I loved all the characters. I thought the action was also great. I thought the animation was great. I loved the portrayal of Josh Keaton's Spider-Man. And I love the way that they crafted this story. This is the perfect example of how to do Spider-Man right in animation, in a TV show. I love it. That's my review for Spectacular Spider-Man. And also, I also love the theme song. I can't play it for copyright reasons, but yeah. That's my review for Spectacular Spider-Man. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.